20 minutos de peleadores hablando mierda y como no podía faltar, el primero que tiene que salir, ¿quién es? Mi amigo Conor. No podía faltar, el primero.
A warning to you saying that Conor doesn't fear anyone. What do you say to Floyd Mayweather?
I am the Floyd Mayweather in MMA.
Khabib diciéndole, yo soy el Floyd Mayweather de las MMA. Cállate la boca, amigo.
A door box. Yeah, absolutely door.
There are many facets in the world of MMA that make it so.
Esa conferencia de prensa es para la historia, man. Esa conferencia de prensa es para la historia, bro.
Become a common tool that fighters use to promote themselves and build up their fights. It has brought a lot of success to many fighters' careers. However, with the great fame that fighters can gain from talking trash, also comes a great risk of eating their words in an embarrassing fashion.
Te voy a destruir tu cara mañana. Voy a limpiar tu cara mañana, man. Te voy a borrar la sonrisa.
At UFC 261, Kamaru Usman was
Ese físico de Kamaru Usman,
in a highly anticipated rematch. Usman had previously defeated Masvidal at UFC 251 in a very lackluster fight. Masvidal had taken that fight on very short notice and promised that with a
Esa fue la primera, la que se hizo en Fire Island.
training camp he would destroy Usman.
Don't lose to this guy, you know? Don't lose to this guy. And when you figured out that we stopped on that brother.
Yo creo que Masvidal también se confió. Como él pensó que la primera pelea más o menos la había sido competitivo. Más o menos no. Fue competitivo en la primera pelea hasta cierto punto. Una pelea bien aburrida, por cierto. En el que Usman ganó, yo creo que por pisotones. Masvidal pensó que la segunda iba a ser un paseo por el bosque o algo así, yo creo.
Word, my brother.
When it came time for their rematch, Usman
¿Sabes lo que es? Claro, Masvidal se tiene la confianza del striking y todo, bro.
would dominate Masvidal, outstriking him and outwrestling him,
Y le ganó
knocking him out cold in the
en
second
todo,
round.
le ganó Usman a Masvidal. En todo, por arriba, por abajo, por todos lados. Man. Lo superó en todas partes. Yo les tengo que ser sincero, a mí Ronda no me caía bien, pero no me esperaba verla perder de esta manera. Platas, no sé cómo se pronuncia eso, pero gracias por esa suscripción con Prime, mi brother.
In 2015, the long-reigning women's bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey was set to defend her belt against her toughest opponent yet in Holly Holm. Throughout the build-up to Rousey's fight against Holm, there seemed to be a lot of mutual respect.
Esto también les tengo que decir una cosa. El problema también fue el coach de Ronda Rousey que le dijo que ella tenía el super striking. Le dijo, no, ya tú estás hecha la Muhammad Ali de las MMA. Y le vendió la película de que ella podía boxear con quien fuera. Le vendió esa película, bro. Imagínate tú.
Between the two fighters. However, when it came time for them to face off at the weigh-in, the two got into a scuffle as Rousey attempted to shove Holm's arm out of the way. Holm responded by placing her
Te vas a parar con una kickboxer que es una salada bestia, o sea.
being pulled away by Dana White.
Una maldita locura.
Right through it. I really do. It was all fake. I see right now that it's fake and you're going to get it on Sunday. You're not the first person that thought you had the perfect plan to beat me. It's not the first time your camp thought that they had the perfect plan to beat me. I'm going to show you on Sunday why I'm the champ.
When the two met in the cage,
Te voy a enseñar por qué yo soy la reina.
Holm would pick
Ni siquiera quiso tocar los guantes, bro.
Rousey apart, outstriking her.
¿Cómo te vas a parar? ¿Te vas a parar a boxear con Holly Holm?
Not giving her a chance to get the fight to the ground. Holm would end up knocking Rousey out cold in the second round, handing Rousey her first career loss.
Brutal le metió. Brutal.
Michael Bisping versus Tim Kennedy. In 2014, Michael Bisping was set to take...
A Michael Bisping le han tocado todos los dopados de la vida, pobrecito. Pobrecito Michael Bisping. Mira cómo te increísta, boludo. Yo me acuerdo en la pelea. Bueno, ¿para qué? El pobre se ha tenido que comer todos los super dopados que los han molido a palo.
When the two faced off in the cage, Kennedy would dominate Bisping and win a one-sided unanimous decision.
Por lo menos Tim Kennedy no le hizo lo que le hizo Vitor Belfort. Lo molió un poco, pero no tanto.
Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw.
Como a mí me gusta Cody Garbrandt, man.
2017,
Toda la
Cody
mierda que
Garbrandt was
hablaba,
set to
todo lo
face
que
his
hacía.
former
A mí me
friend
encantaba
and
Cody
TJ
Garbrandt,
Dillashaw.
bro.
Their feud stemmed from the fact that Dillashaw abandoned Team Alpha Male to train with his close friend and coach Dwayne Ludwig. Garbrandt and all of Team Alpha Male felt that Dillashaw had betrayed the team that brought him into MMA. But this didn't stop the UFC from wanting to monetize this feud, as they had Garbrandt and Dillashaw coach season 20.
Ah, pero también se sabían todos los secretos de TJ Dillashaw. Por eso le decían el tema de que él estaba dopado y todo eso. Cody Garbrandt le decía, si tú le enseñaste a todo el equipo completo cómo usarlas. Es descaro.
Throughout season 25 of The Ultimate Fighter, Garbrandt and Dillashaw would argue frequently, and the arguments often escalated into violent outbursts from Garbrandt, as he couldn't keep his cool around Dillashaw.
I was paid to be out there with Dwayne. You asked and you sell it.
Cody Garbrandt siempre tuvo la mecha corta, man.
When the two met in
Qué
the cage,
clase
they
loco
would have a
era,
back
bro.
and forth fight, which ended with Dillashaw finishing Garbrandt
Cody
with
casi
a
lo
TKO
noquea a
in the
TJ
second
Dillashaw en
round.
el primer asalto, man. Y TJ le ganó en el segundo, bro.
A year later, they would have a rematch, but this time Dillashaw would finish Garbrandt in the first round via TKO.
Ya estaba jodido por completo, Cody. Cody Garbrandt es uno de esos casos de que un KO ya acaba con una carrera, destruye una carrera.
Michael Bisping versus Jorge Rivera. In 2011, Michael Bisping was set to face Jorge Rivera in the most heated rivalry of
Todo lo que ustedes vean que es antes de 2015,
Bisping's career. Throughout the build-up to this fight, Bisping was on the receiving
tómenlo
end
con
of
una
most of his
pizquita de
fight
sal.
as Rivera repeatedly harassed him and made things personal.
You ever met my friend Bisping? He's the biggest dick in the whole wide world. He's a mean old dick and he has stupid hair. He's a dick, 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 dick. He's a stupid dick. Bisping is a dick and he's such a dirty dick.
When the two faced off in the cage, Bisping would dominate Rivera, eventually finishing him via TKO in the second round.
Bisping es un duro, man. Yo creo que a Bisping habría que darle más crédito del que tiene, bro. Bisping es un duro, man.
Hit him in the head so many times, he thought he'd been abducted by aliens. I'm surprised you're not wearing a tinfoil hat today to stop the messages coming. Dude, I'm gonna hit you so many times you're gonna think you're gonna disappear on the
Y GSP siempre ha sido un caballero, man.
George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. After a long layoff from fighting, George St. Pierre would make a return in 2017 against the then middleweight champion, Michael Bisping. Bisping is known to be one of the best trash talkers in MMA.
GSP se divirtió cantidad en esa conferencia de prensa.
Build up to this fight.
Are you probably drunk like the last restaurant? I would have f***ed you up then, and I'll f*** you up now, little guy. Are you intoxicated or something? Is that all you got? That's why you wear some sunglasses? That's the only line you got. Are you intoxicated? Yeah. You look like. Come on, man. Let's go. Jesus Christ, come on, George. Are you intoxicated? Are you intoxicated?
A ver, les explico. GSP no habla bien el inglés. GSP no habla bien inglés porque la parte de la que es él en Canadá se habla francés. Entonces él habla francés e inglés, pero el inglés de él no era tan bueno. ¿Ok? Por eso es que Bisping le hace una burla del acento. Are you intoxicated? Porque él no habla un inglés muy fluido, digamos.
When the two faced off in the cage, George St. Pierre would end up dropping Bisping in the second round and finishing.
Hay que recordar que ahí a Bisping le faltaba un ojo, ¿ok? Hay que recordar que Bisping ahí ha tenido un ojo de menos. Hay que recordarlo porque está. Y ahí GSP le deja colgado el cinturón a Dana White y Dana le dice, ¿me vas a dejar el cinturón colgado? Perfecto. Muy bien por ti.
Justin Gaethje versus Michael Johnson.
I don't chew on nothing the whole time. I'm gonna eat you up for dinner, boy. Say nothing for leftovers. You are. Nothing for leftovers. It's gonna be easy, man.
In 2017, Justin Gaethje would be making his UFC debut against Michael Johnson. Throughout the build-up to this fight, Johnson talked a lot of trash, but he's not a very good trash talker.
Ven, y Gaethje, por ejemplo, es otro de los que le tocó perros malos desde que empezó, men. Que tú entres a la UFC y tu primera pelea sea Michael Johnson, men.
So this led to some of the
O sea, es una cabronada, men. No, es que si miras las peleas que le tocan después, inclusive Poirier, Eddie Álvarez, o sea, lo tiran con los perros entrando, men.
When the two faced off in the cage, they would have an exciting back and forth brawl, which ended with Gaethje finishing Johnson via TKO in the second round. Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz.
Ahora van a pelear de nuevo, creo, Chael Sonnen y Tito Ortiz. Pelea que no quiero ver, pero da. Si van a pelear, ¿qué le vamos a hacer?
His mouth has got him in every fight, big fight that he's had.
Tito always says I'm using my mouth to get my opportunities. The only person I know that made money using their mouth is his ex-wife.
In 2017, Chael Sonnen.
Michael Johnson tanto que dar y al final se desinfló. Es verdad, pero tuvo victorias importantísimas. Tony Ferguson también, o sea, Tuvo peleas importantes, pero tienes razón. Al final no llegó a donde se esperaba que llegara.
Tito Ortiz were set to face off at Bellator 170. With Sonnen being arguably the best trash talker in MMA, it was no surprise when he let out a verbal onslaught against Tito Ortiz.
Tito's car just got repossessed a week ago. Tito has a Rolls Royce. Now, in fairness, that's a beautiful car. I wouldn't own one because I'm not that big of a prick, but it just got repossessed. Unfortunately, he couldn't get this match before. I heard that he tried to sell some suits to make do on the car, but nobody had a size 52 stupid.
When the two met in the cage, Ortiz would easily out-wrestle Sonnen.
Mami, Chael Sonnen es uno de los mejores trash talkers de la historia en la UFC.
And eventually submit him in the first round. Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington.
Both share very similar skill sets. Colby, I'm wondering if you can tell me where do those similarities?
Pa, gente, les cuento una historia que ustedes no saben. ¿Qué más me cae con Covington?
Those similarities ended. You know, he's taking my sloppy seconds. I beat everybody he beat, but I beat him before he beat him. So he had to come pick up the carcasses off the dead bodies that I left.
Dios
so,
mío.
you know, he's not impressive. He sucks.
La peor propaganda de Trump que ha existido es Colby Covington con la gorra de Make America Great Again. Dios mío, qué tipo más pesado, bro.
Colby Covington was set to get his highly anticipated title shot against Kamaru Usman. Colby Covington is known to be one of the most controversial trash talkers in the sport, and many people found him to be very obnoxious. But it was no surprise when things became heated between Covington and Usman during the build-up to this fight.
Marty, fake news, man. Well, I don't want to wait till November 2nd, Madison Square. Do it. It's Madison Square Garden. We can do it tonight. We can do it right now. Where you at? Where you at? I'm coming for you.
Y Kamaru todavía quitándose la camisa. Dios mío. Qué ridículo, Dios mío. No se puede ser tan... O sea, no se puede dar más cringe. Eso sí, las peleas que dieron fueron una locura, gente. Las dos peleas que dieron fueron una barbaridad. ¡Boom! Qué momento tan feliz cuando Usman le rompió la mandíbula a Colby. Por cierto, men, en esa pelea yo me quité el sombrero con Colby mal, bro. Peleó todos esos asaltos con la mandíbula rota, bro. De verdad que tremenda machada de Colby Covington ahí. Por eso lo respeto como peleador. Como peleador es una salada bestia Colby Covington. Una maldita bestia Colby Covington, man. Salada bestia.
This didn't stop Covington from talking trash, as he recently had a very entertaining verbal exchange with Usman on ESPN.
No one cares about you. No one cares about you. You're pathetic. You care about me? No, yeah, because you got the worst decision in the history.
Oscar, ¿crees que Kamaru va a recuperar el cinturón? Yo creo que sí. Yo creo que lo va a recuperar. Me parece, aunque tiene una edad ya que me hace dudar, pero yo creo que lo va a recuperar. Yo creo que sí. Es que no sabe hacer el trash talk por ejemplo, de Conor McGregor, no sabe hacer el trash talk de Nate Diaz, no sabe hacer el trash talk del mismo Chael Sonnen. No sabe, o sea... Estás muerto, estás muerto, estás muerto, o sea...
In 2014, UFC veteran Stephan Bonnar would be set to face off against Tito Ortiz at Bellator 131. The fight was announced live during a Bellator event where Ortiz and Bonnar were brought out to come face-to-face before their upcoming fight. When Bonnar was given the microphone, he went on a very WWE-like rant as he talked trash.
Tampoco es que Tito Ortiz sea un santo ni nada parecido, pero está. La copia china de Joe Rogan, mira, ahí la tiene.
When it came time for them to fight, the two would have a back-and-forth 3-round war in which Ortiz came out as the victor. Dominic Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt.
Dominic Cruz también tiene buen trash talk. Aquí estaban los dos, aquí esto es cuento, acá los dos son trash talkers zarpados, o sea.
You can't take me down. You can't. I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock everybody out.
Qué mal. Imagínate tú. Que le está diciendo, no, tú estás diciendo que yo no te puedo hacer un knockdown, que no te puedo tumbar, y Cody Garbrandt diciéndoles que no puede, o sea, pegas con almohada, no tienes pegada, no me vas a tumbar, o sea. No, aquí los dos están haciendo trash talk, no me jodas. No me jodas.
In 2016, Cody Garbrandt was set to take on Dominic Cruz for the UFC bantamweight title at UFC 207. Cruz is known to be one of the smartest and articulate trash talkers in MMA, so it was no surprise that he got the better of the trash talking exchanges during the build-up to this fight.
Yeah, they want going on my girlfriends and talking to her on Instagram.
Esa pelea Cody vs Cruz fue la peor paliza y mejor performance por un cinturón. Yo no diría que fue la mejor, pero teniendo en cuenta... A ver, es como sobrepasar a Anderson Silva, ¿ok? Dominic Cruz en su división probablemente... No sé si decir que es el GOAT, pero yo creo que sí, que probablemente sea el GOAT. Y además es que se mueve a una velocidad increíble. Si lo increíble que él tenía era la velocidad. Es como que venga alguien y sobrepasara en velocidad a Anderson Silva. ¿Sabes lo que te digo? Bueno, algo así es lo que hizo Cody Garbrandt en esta pelea. O sea, fue una cosa... Fue como diciéndole... Bueno, para mí esto es uno de los mejores performances, sin duda alguna, como tú estás poniendo ahí. Nada variado, o sea, una cosa loca.
She shouldn't be hollering at me on social media. She shouldn't be hollering on social media. Keep her to yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I did you a favor and her a favor. She obviously wears the pants in the relationship, or else she wouldn't be having to defend you.
Ah, claro, aquí le está diciendo que la mujer es quien tiene los pantalones y toda esta cosa.
Go ahead, come over here. Yeah. Come on, Turk.
Y como Cody Garbrandt, que tiene la mecha corta, le dice, si vos para allá. Ven, que los knockdowns que le hizo, la velocidad a la que se movió. Eso fue otra cosa, man.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas.
Ah, esta pelea. Quedó fea, Joanna.
UFC 217, the then strawweight champion.
El UFC 217 es el que para mí sigue siendo el mejor de la historia. Yo lo tengo como el mejor. Para mí.
Against top contender Rose Namajunas. Joanna was expected to win this fight and tie with Ronda Rousey's record of most consecutive title defenses in women's MMA history.
Boogie Woman is coming tomorrow.
Boogie Woman.
I will tie Ronda Rousey's record.
La cara de Ronda Namajunas, bro. La cara de Ronda Namajunas. Qué clase de cara, bro. Dios mío.
During the press conference leading up to the fight, Joanna talked a lot of trash. However, it didn't seem to faze Rose.
Ah, esta sí fue verdad. O sea, Joanna habló mierda, pero mierda. Y Rose jamás dijo nada. Nada.
During their
Nada.
stare down, Joanna seemed upset about the fact that she was unable to phase Rose, so she decided to place her fist directly against Rose's face. However,
Y Rose ni se mutó cuando ella le puso el puño en la cara.
and continued to remain unfazed by
Nada.
Joanna's actions.
Rose
When
ni
it
se
came
mutó,
time for
man.
them to fight, Rose would end up knocking Joanna out in the first round, ending her title defense streak and making her pay for all the disrespect.
Esa es una, o sea, eso es uno de los momentos más épicos en la historia de la UFC, man. The Rose. Impresionante, man.
Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen.
Most of your losses are submission. I don't think you can stand with them.
Esto también más o menos, porque Chael Sonnen es verdad que habla mucha mierda, pero Anderson Silva tampoco es que se quede atrás.
Well, I've heard of you. Now I didn't know I'd ever.
Por cierto, esta es una de las peleas por el título más impresionante que ha existido.
Chael Sonnen was once known as the best trash talker in the sport of MMA. However, throughout a majority of his MMA career, he did not get to showcase his trash talking ability much. This all changed when he fought his way up to a title shot with arguably the greatest fighter of all time, Anderson Silva. As soon as this fight was booked, Chael began unleashing a barrage of clever and creative insults aimed at the champ.
This isn't a fight that's going to be tit for tat. People say, Chael, you're getting ready for war. Guys, this isn't going to be a war. This is going to be a one-sided pounding, and I'm swinging the hammer. He's got a black belt under the Nogueira brothers. I think a black belt under the Nogueira brothers is saying, I got a free toy in my Happy Meal. I don't really...
El trash talk de Chael Sonnen tiene que aceptar que es fino. O sea, burlarte del cinturón negro que tiene con los manos Nogueira. O sea, es más fino, man. Es más fino el trash talk de Chael Sonnen.
Chael repeatedly
Sin
mocked
duda.
Silva for having a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under the Nogueira brothers, and Silva clearly took these comments personally. When it came time for them to fight, Silva walked out wearing his Jiu-Jitsu gi, hinting at the fact that he planned on submitting Chael in order to make a statement about his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Throughout most of the fight, Chael repeatedly took
Toda la
Silva
pelea
down,
Chael
and
Sonnen lo
Silva
estuvo
offered very
moliendo,
little
gente.
resistance in defending Chael's
Toda
takedowns.
la pelea,
It
Chael
almost seemed as if
Sonnen
Silva
le
wanted
demostró
to
que
win,
era
but
mejor en
he
el
could
wrestling.
showcase his jiu-jitsu.
Toda la pelea,
Towards
se
the
lo
end of
puedo
the fifth and
asegurar.
final round, Chael
Y en el último round, en el quinto asalto, cuando estaba todo lleno de sangre ya Silva, que lo habían estado moliendo, que estaba todo sudado, que todo. Miren esto. Bueno, ahí no lo van a poner. Le pone un triángulo, bro. Impresionante. Impresionante, man. Impresionante, bro.
However, Chael clearly didn't learn his lesson because a few months after the fight, he doubled down on his trash talk and claimed.
Sí, pero ya cuando vino Silva en la segunda ya es Silva.
In some parallel universe, you can hit a man 300 times. He wraps his legs around your head for 8 seconds, and they call him the winner. I am the middleweight champion, and I am willing to give Anderson a shot at the true belt.
Es que es tan bueno hablando mierda Chesonen que él decía todavía que estaba invicto, que no había perdido, que no hay manera en la que tú le pegues 300 veces a un hombre y se declare ganador al otro. O sea, es buenísimo hablando mierda Chesonen, man. Es buenísimo, bro.
Nearly 2 years later, Chael would once again fight his way back up to a title shot against Silva. Throughout the press conferences for their rematch, Chael unleashed insult after insult, and their rivalry became more heated than ever.
Why are you asking questions in English? Anderson sits here like he doesn't understand you. Ed Soros interprets, and we got to hear it a second time. First off, he speaks English, and second, we could replace Ed Soros with an app I could download for $9.99. What are we even doing here, guys?
Es bueno.
This is insanity.
Es bueno.
English? Come on.
Es bueno, man.
Like pretending you're the world champion. I can't believe guy walks around with a fake belt.
When they would once again meet in the octagon, Silva would finish Chael in the second round by TKO, making Chael once again.
Aquí así lo dejó claro. Le dijo, Pipo, TKO, chao para tu casa. Chao. Silva lo dejó claro ahí.
Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson.
I very rarely get hit, you know, and people have said I'm a pain in the hit, and I'm a pain in the spar.
Dan Henderson fue uno de los que sonó duro a Michael Bisping. Duro. Hendo es un duro, man. Creo que fue el mismo Michael Bisping el que dijo que los que pensaban que para ganar en la UFC se necesitaba tener mucha elasticidad y mucho esto. No, Henderson no tiene nada, es un tipo duro nada más.
However, a whole entire list could be made of the times that Bisping had to eat his words after talking trash, but his first bout with Dan Henderson is definitely his best example. It was no surprise when Bisping began relentlessly trash-talking Dan Henderson during the build-up to their fight, as this is what Bisping is known to do.
You can't do that, Dan.
Why?
What you want to change? You can't do that. You can't come in right at the end just because you want to change and decide. Well, you can't have it your way all the time. Well, what do you want me to do? Bend over and take a look.
No.
However, when they met in the cage, the fight ended with one of the most
y la garita de bueno que siempre tiene Henderson,
knockouts in MMA history, as Henderson knocked Bisping out cold.
Bro, busquen ese cao. Ese cao está zarpado, le sacó el alma del cuerpo, boludo. Busquen lo que ese cao está zarpado.
Already unconscious on the ground. When Henderson was asked why he delivered that last unnecessary blow, he stated that it was to shut Bisping up.
Stop, I knew I hit him out, and I think that one was just to shut him up a little bit.
Dios, solo se lo hice para callarle un poquito.
Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. In only Askren's second fight in the UFC, he was booked to fight Jorge Masvidal. Leading up to this fight, Askren was very confident that he was the best.
Es verdad que Jorge Masvidal también es un trash talker, pero Ben Askren acá, o sea, Ben Askren lo estaba llevando recio en el trash talk.
On the planet, and he repeatedly insulted Masvidal.
George, you're so in over your head that after Saturday night, you won't even be able to get a Strikeforce title shot. Boom, roasted.
All these reporters ask me why you're so mad. I'm kind of curious. You are mad. Yeah, you can't stand me. Why not? No, I looked at you. I said I was busy. I go to the bathroom. All right. Come on, answer all them. Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Why are you mad, bro? Why are you mad? Why are you mad, bro?
Masvidal took these comments very personally and plotted to finish Askren in a brutal fashion. When the two finally met in the octagon,
la rodilla más famosa de la historia.
With Masvidal immediately landing a brutal flying knee, knocking Askren unconscious and breaking the...
Este es uno de los caos más gratificantes de la historia, ¿sí o no? Escríbanme por ahí, ¿es uno de los caos más gratificantes de la historia, sí o no? Yo creo que sí. Super necessary.
What is that, 3 seconds?
5 seconds, the official time.
Sorry, Dwayne Ludwig.
Askren lost in the most embarrassing fashion a trash talker could ever experience.
Reventaron mal.
A very humbling lesson for him. Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
No podía faltar. No podía faltar.
You're a lying bastard. When money got pumped into your camp by that little scumbag that's now in a little April cell, you thought you were a don. Now look at you. Now look at you. They're stating now, not a being.
McGregor es otro que es fino haciendo trash talk. Es bueno también. Era otro muy bueno.
No money left.
Most fans can agree that Conor McGregor is the best trash talker the sport of MMA has ever seen.
Era bueno,
Previous
era
to his
bueno.
fight with Khabib, Conor was able to back up his trash talk in nearly every single UFC fight he had, with his only previous UFC loss coming in his first bout with Nate Diaz, in a loss that Conor eventually avenged.
Surprise, surprise, mother.
The king is back!
Khabib and Conor had one of the most heated rivalries in MMA history, and the build-up to their fight got ugly very quickly.
McGregor GOAT en trash talk. Sí, sí, puede ser. Puede ser. Puede ser. Puede ser. Te la doy, te la doy. No te la voy a quitar.
Where Conor smashed the window of a UFC bus, which Khabib happened to be on.
Es que también todo esto fue una maldita locura lo que hizo Conor.
Conor did this in an attempt to get revenge
Qué clase de
for the previous
locura, man.
incident in which Khabib cornered and slapped McGregor's close friend and training partner, Artem Lobov.
Ok, Khabib no le pegó una cachetada. Aquí dijeron cómo le pegó una cachetada. Él agarró a Artem Lobov del cogote. O sea, lo agarró del cogote nada más. Pero igual yo creo que todo esto estaba preparado porque es como que estaban buscando el rifirrafe. ¿Sabes lo que te digo? Eso fue lo que él le hizo. O sea, le hizo como que lo agarró del cogote así. Khabib no tenía que haber hecho eso igual.
It became the most anticipated fight in MMA history. In the first press conference for the event, McGregor repeatedly insulted Khabib, mocking his religion and even talking about Khabib's father.
Now the money's gone, the numbers are still there, but trust me, his own countrymen, his own people that he's turned his back on, they want to see him gone.
Ven, él hizo una clase de investigación ahí, le investigó la familia, le investigó todo. Conor hizo tremenda investigación ahí, bro. Salada investigación eso.
In terms of what did you expect?
The truth, because that's all I talk.
Khabib mostly stayed silent whenever McGregor would verbally engage him, saving his talking for the day of the fight. When it came time for them to fight,
Y
Khabib
todos sabemos lo que
one-sided
pasó.
beating, which ended with McGregor tapping out to a rear naked choke. After the fight
Tap
was over,
machine.
Khabib proceeded
Tap
to
machine.
jump over the cage and start a brawl with McGregor's team as an act of revenge for the bus incident.
Ahí le fue para arriba a Dylan Danis también. Todavía Dylan Danis decía que le podía ganar a Khabib y no sé qué. Bueno, un poco más grande, Khabib. Yo qué sé. Es bueno en BJJ Dylan Danis igual.
The brawl was eventually broken up and everyone involved was escorted out of the arena. Conor McGregor
Esto va a ser incomparable, yo creo. Incluso para mí la de Conor McGregor con Khabib está por encima de la de Nate Diaz.
versus Nate Diaz.
Eso va a ser incomparable. O sea, eso es incomparable.
Olvídate. Clear a little cheesy shot on my hand because he had to put you to sleep with your gi on.
Y le dijo, te voy a poner a dormir. Te puse a dormir con una guillotina.
Your whole suit, my socks were worth more than your whole suit you had on, you little bum. You broke.
At UFC 196, Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz were set to face off in a very short notice fight. McGregor had originally been scheduled to fight the then lightweight champion, Rafael Dos Anjos. However, Dos Anjos had pulled out of his scheduled bout with McGregor due to an injury, and Nate Diaz was quickly picked as a replacement.
Eso que Nate tomó la pelea con poca anticipación.
Yeah, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work for, I'm gonna fight your ass. You know what's the real fight, what's the real money fight is me, not these clowns that you already punked at the press conference. No one want to see that, you know you beat them already. That's the easy fight. You want that real right here. Hey, and I'm not... Unfortunately, you can't talk like that on Fox.
Diaz had only 1 week to prepare for his bout with McGregor and was expected to lose.
You're just praying you can survive. Look at my life.
Solo está rezando por poder sobrevivir.
You're just hoping to survive in there. That's it.
When the two met in the cage, McGregor seemed to have the upper hand as he began picking.
Ven, pero seamos sinceros. En los primeros asaltos McGregor le pega una paliza a Nate Diaz, bro. Le pega y lo que pasa es que Nate Diaz tiene la mandíbula de granito, pero le pega por todos lados, bro. Le pega con todo, men.
But as the fight went on, McGregor began
Pasa que McGregor se quedó sin gas, se quedó tanque de gasolina vacío.
As he secured a rear naked choke, forcing McGregor to tap out. Thanks for watching.
Y aquí lo vamos a dejar por hoy, gente. 1:40. Hoy me pasé, gente. Hoy me pasé. Bueno, a las 7... Son las 4:20 ya. Hoy me pasé. A las 7 tengo la directa con el Vikingo y con Ebro. Así que nos vemos a las 7 en el canal de Greenfit. No, me pasé hoy. Se me fue la mano, man. Nos vemos. Chao, 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 chao. Chao.